This is The Herd, hour number 3. We are live in Los Angeles, wherever you may be, however you may be listening. Fox Sports Radio, iHeartRadio, FS1, Giants, Eagles. Tonight, Joy Taylor is joining me. Big NFL football game tonight. The NFC East has been awash with mediocrity. The Giants have some stars, but have struggled at quarterback. Redskins likewise, Dallas likewise. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, who are favored tonight and should be, have great line play. Carson Wentz, good head coach. And they've been a lot of meh, so they meet tonight. Exciting time.
Very good game.
Very good game.
Very excited for this weekend's game.
Yeah, 15 minutes from now, Bucky Brooks, former player in the NFL, scout, works at the NFL Network. I bring him on regularly, a guy I really, really lean on. Reminds me a lot of Greg Cosell. He gets down to the tape. Also, in Best for Last, the best fan letter I have ever received in my entire career. So Jimmy Butler's a very good NBA player. He's played in Chicago, and he didn't get along with people. And now he's in Minnesota, and he wants out, and they've got good players. And yesterday he went to practice, and basically it was crazy. It was crazy town. He was screaming at the GM, screaming at the coach, screaming at his teammates. You can't do this without me. And I think that's a lot because Jimmy Butler was brainwashed by brilliant advertising by Gatorade and Nike. Do you remember this?
Sometimes I dream that he is me. You got to see that's how I dream to be. A dream I move. A dream I do.
Like Mike. If I could be like Mike. I'm gonna be like Mike. If I could be like Mike. Be like Mike.
So good.
Be like Mike, because be like the Chicago Bulls doesn't sell Gatorade. Be like Phil Jackson's triangle offense doesn't sell shoes. They made you believe it was all about Mike. Michael Jordan, by the way, was 0-6 against the Celtics before Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan was 1-9 in the playoffs before Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player most people believe ever, didn't do squat before Scottie Pippen. But Nike and Gatorade made you believe it's all about Michael. It never was, and it never has been in basketball. Do you play well with others? Magic needed Kareem and Worthy. Bird needed McHale and Parrish. Michael needed Scotty and Rodman. And Isaiah needed Lambeer and Dumars and the great Chuck Daly. Everybody's always known that, except there's always a couple of guys in the NBA, Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose, and currently Jimmy Butler, that don't. They want to be like Mike instead of be like the Golden State Warriors and play well with others. Jimmy Butler now went into practice, been holding out with the Timberwolves yesterday. He ripped the GM. He ripped teammates. He went crazy town. I called a source last night in the NBA that's as good a source as this league has. He told me 2 years ago, Jimmy Butler, who blew up yesterday with his team and wants out from Karl Anthony Towns, wants out from Andrew Wiggins. Really good B-plus NBA players. Cat maybe an A-. He wants away. He wants his own team. He wants to go to Brooklyn and be the man. And my source told me last night, 2 years ago when he was in the Olympics, he didn't fit. Players didn't like him. He was the least talented guy, finished that Olympic experience with a worse field goal percentage. Kyrie Irving was there. Boogie Cousins was there. Guys that have egos. And Jimmy's was the biggest. And he didn't play well with others. Jimmy, you want to be like Mike. Be like the Warriors. Sacrifice shots and ego to be part of a great community. Be like Chris Paul, James Harden. Be willing to give the other guy shots. Elevate the community over yourself. I love the NBA, and the great ones always figure it out. They need help. Phil Jackson sat Michael Jordan down and said, you want to beat the Celtics? Pass. Be a better teammate. Michael listened, and Michael became a legend. LeBron James, I want to play with Chris Bosh and D. Wade. Kevin Durant, I want to play with Curry, Clay. There's always a couple of guys in the NBA that still want to be like Mike. And what you want to be like in 2018 is the Golden State Warriors. Play well with others. Jimmy Butler, after practice yesterday, explaining his uncalled for outburst to his teammates, his coach, his GM at practice.
I was honest. Was I brutally honest? Yes. But I think that's the problem. Everybody's so scared to be honest with one another. If you didn't like the way that I handled myself in practice, one of the players come up to me. Somebody say something. Anybody. I'm not going to take it offensive. It's not personal. And that's all I was out there doing, was competing, playing hard, doing what I'm supposed to do on the basketball court. I just want everybody to be happy. I want to win. I'm sorry if I go about it the wrong way. I really do apologize.
I'll always defend the great player who joins other great players, because his message is, it's about us, not about me. Hopefully Jimmy Butler learns. I want to segue to this. Tonight, the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles on Fox. That's the network I am currently paid by, but I'd watch anyway. So the Giants play the Eagles. Talk about must-win for both teams. Michael Strahan, one of the great players and a teammate of mine here, was talking about Odell Beckham, who came out earlier this week and with an interview with a lady named Jelena Anderson, kind of critical of Eli Manning. And Michael Strahan said, I think Odell's definitely a leader. Eli's never been the guy who's going to be a vocal guy. But there are still a lot of, maturity parts that have to happen on Odell's part. And Michael said, basically, you got to be careful what you say about and who you talk about, because, you start speaking for the room, and even if you are a good guy and a good leader, it may not necessarily play well. In other words, Michael Strahan was basically saying, there's certain things you don't want to talk about publicly. And that's where I bristle. And I'm hearing this from everybody. Great players like Michael, media people, former players, current players. Whenever I hear this phrase, you cannot say blank publicly, I always push back. When I got into this business, I was told you cannot talk about politics. The number one cable TV network in America is Fox News, built about talking politics 24/7. You can't talk about religion. I was told that one, too. That's interesting, because the most provocative talk show on HBO is Bill Maher, who has built a reputation questioning, mocking, dismissing religion. That's his brand. You can talk politics, and you can talk religion, and you can question Eli Manning. At this point, Eli Manning is more myth than reality. The last 4 years, he has been a below-average quarterback. And I want everybody to think about this. Peyton Manning, let me say it slowly, the better of the two. Peyton Manning was benched for Brock Osweiler. And Eli can't be subtly questioned publicly. I got a job 30 years ago in Las Vegas as a young sportscaster. A guy said to me, never criticize Tark. I left that market the most well-known sportscaster. My brand, the only guy that would go after Tark. When people tell me you can't say things publicly, head into that tsunami. Cable TV is dominated by politics. Bill Maher's made a very lucrative brand, very, very lucrative brand, talking religion. And you can question, if you're the face of the franchise, Eli Manning. When you watch that game tonight, tell me where Odell Beckham was wrong. Bucky Brooks, one of my faves, right around the corner. Joy Taylor and I, as we start hour number 3. 66% of men lose their hair by the age of 35, and it's really hard once you see it going to stop that train. Okay? That's why you go to forhims.com as a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, and sexual wellness for men. It's thanks to science, baldness can be optional. 4Hims connects you with real doctors, online, medical-grade solutions. These are well-known generic equivalents, backed by science. There's no waiting room, no awkward in-person doctor visit. You save money and hours by going to forhims.com. You answer a few quick questions online. A doctor reviews it, prescribes you products that are shipped directly to your door. And right now, just to get you in the door at 4Hims, for $5 only, a 5-spot, while supplies last, our listeners in the herd get a trial month. Go to 4hims, F-O-R-H-I-M, 4hims.com/Colin, 4hims.com/Colin. Basically a one-stop shop. Skincare, hair loss, sexual wellness for dudes. 66% of you losing your hair by 35. Stop it now in its tracks.
Got big plans for this planet.